All right, what is up, people of the world? Here we go, an astrology update. I'm going to speak to you today about this full moon in Sagittarius, the Sagittarius full moon / lunar eclipse that is going on Friday, June 5th at 2:12 p.m. Central Time. So I've got the chart pulled up here. I've got some of the aspects that are happening with this full moon, and we are going to go through it. I'm going to walk you through this chart for the full moon and also speak to just what is going on in the world right now. I want to share some of the bigger transits, some of the bigger aspects that we have happening, that we have going on pretty much off and on throughout this whole year, to kind of set the stage of the times that we're currently in, and then describe what this full moon is representing. So okay, so you can see here on the chart that we've got the sun. Let me redo that. We've got the sun in Gemini at 15 degrees, and we've got the moon in Sagittarius at 15 degrees. So, you know, when the sun and the moon are directly opposing each other, that's what makes it a full moon. And full moons are a time of endings, of completions, of maybe harvesting what it is that you've planted. It is a culmination point. And it's not only a full moon, but it's also a lunar eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse, because the nodes of the moon have recently changed signs, which is ending like a 1.5 year long cycle, moved out of Cancer, Capricorn, and it's now in Gemini and Sagittarius, the Gemini-Sagittarius axis, which is where this full moon is, making it a lunar eclipse. So okay, so we've got a lot of different aspects happening at the time of this full moon, but before I dive into breaking down the aspects that are going on right now, I want to speak to some of the bigger aspects that we've been working with throughout this year, and really even last year we were feeling this energy. So I know I've spoken to it a ton, other astrologers have spoken to it a lot as well, but I want to speak to the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter conjunction that we've had going on. So you can see you've got Pluto here, you've got Jupiter here. They're pretty much conjunct right now, 2 degrees apart. And then Saturn as well has been like kind of off and on, is coming together with Pluto throughout this whole year. And so to just kind of set the stage for the times that we're in, Saturn is the planet of the structures, the foundation, the government, the patriarchy, the rules that we follow, the boundaries that we work within, the foundation of our lives, the foundation of not only our individual lives, but also the foundation of like collectively, again, the government structures, the rules that we follow, the boundaries that we work within. And so that is what Saturn represents. And so in January, Saturn and Pluto came together, exactly touching each other. And this happens once every 35-ish years. So it's a big fucking deal. Every time they come together all throughout history, we have world-changing events that take place. And okay, so I've described Saturn, and Pluto is the planet of death, of destruction, of transformation, of rebirth. It's associated with the Scorpio energy, and what Scorpio and Pluto energy want is transformation at all costs, evolution at all costs. So it represents deconstructing things, breaking things down. I mean, quite literally breaking down the government structures, breaking down the foundation of our individual lives, and, you know, collectively, globally, like we can see this going on everywhere. It's the tearing down of shit that was built not in integrity, right? Pluto wants to expose things. Pluto's connected with basically all the darkness of the world, the shadow aspects, the taboo topics, shit that's uncomfortable to look at, that's uncomfortable to speak to. That's where transformation comes, right? When we go beneath the surface, we bring shit up into the light and we look at it. We can speak to it, we can acknowledge it, we can transform it, we can shine light on it. And so these are the times that we're moving through. It's a huge deal, right? They come together once every 35 years. And all throughout history, whenever they come together, huge, again, world-changing, life-changing events happen. And so you know, we felt this energy last year, 2019, and we're going to be dealing with it all throughout 2020. I mean, it's not just like the government structures crumble and then a new one pops up. Like, it takes time. It's a transition. It's a transformation that's going on. And then Jupiter there, Jupiter just expands anything that it touches. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of joy, of abundance, of, you know, wealth or success, money. It can be associated with those things, but it just has an expansive nature. So if it touches Pluto, the planet of transformation, the lord of the underworld, like, it might not necessarily be a positive thing. I mean, in the long run, sure, shit has to be broken down so that it can be transformed. But at first, it's not super comfortable to expose all of the darkness of the world, you know. So again, we can see this happening globally, collectively, and then we can look at our own individual lives, you know, maybe shadow material being brought up to the surface, us doing a lot of like deep internal shadow work. Yeah, we're all kind of simultaneously building a new foundation for how we show up as the world is doing the same. So that is just kind of the times that we're in. We're with this energy all year, and Saturn is moving into Aquarius, right? The age of Aquarius that we're in. So Saturn stays in one sign for about 2.5 years, and it's been in Capricorn. Saturn likes to be in Aquarius and Capricorn. It's associated with both of those signs. But Saturn in Capricorn is much more rules, tradition, structure, authority figures. Like, this is how it's always been done. This is how it needs to continue. And Aquarius is very different than Capricorn. Aquarius wants to throw out the rules. It's like, fuck the rules, fuck the system. Like, let's put rules in place that actually support the people. Aquarius is the humanitarian. So it's all about supporting the people, supporting the humans that are here on Earth, like creating systems that are actually helpful for people. Aquarius is the rebellious energy of the zodiac. It's the revolutionary, it's the visionary, it's, you know, being able to see into the future, to see the bigger vision, the bigger picture, and to like implement these different systems or different ways that we can revolutionize the current times that we're in, the current systems that we have going on. Like, how can we, you know, whether we can change them like from the inside out, or whether they just have to be completely deconstructed and we have to build something new. I think it's a little bit of both. So that's what we have going on there. Yeah, Saturn's retrograde. We've got a ton of planets retrograde, 4 planets to be exact. Half of the planets that can go retrograde are, and then we're going to have Mercury go retrograde. We're going to have Mars. So this year we have a lot of planets retrograde this year. It doesn't always happen like that. And when planets are retrograde, it's a time of slowing down, of pausing, of reviewing things. You know, it's like the planet slows down so we can kind of go back to the past and tie up loose ends and take care of things that weren't fully tended to, or that need our attention, that need more of our attention. We need to revisit certain topics. And so right now, really, and throughout this year, we've got a lot of retrograde energy. So, you know, the system's crumbling, the foundation's being deconstructed. We're kind of pausing. It's a ton of internal time, like forced internal time. Most people, you know, have had to stay in their home for a long period of time. So a lot of introspection going on, and just reflecting and reviewing how we've lived our life, how we've shown up, the rules in the world, just everything, before we can really go forward and we can build something new. We have to revisit the past. We have to like get closure, or just, you know, understand it from a new perspective so that we can move forward, so that we can build something new, so that we don't repeat the past. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all I want to say there. So yeah, Saturn's going retrograde back into Capricorn a little bit, reviewing more things, and then it's going to, you know, continue to move forward into Aquarius, and we're in the Aquarian age. You know, we're creating new systems. It's the humanitarian energy. Aquarius is very much like, they don't want to follow the rules. They want to do things differently. They want freedom for everybody. The equal rights is very much an Aquarian thing. Like, they don't give a fuck what sex you are, or who you choose to be with, or how you want to express yourself. They do the tattoos, the piercings. It's just very like alternative. It's like, let your freak flag fly. Whatever you want to do, as long as you're happy, go for it, and you're not hurting other people. Because it is the humanitarian, right? Okay, so we've got that going on, this situation here. That's just something that we're going to be, you know, playing with all year. These planets are going to be dancing together, and then, you know, as the year closes out, they'll kind of soften their tightness. They won't be so close. They're going to like spread out, and the yeah, the aspects will disperse. So, okay, that's one thing that we have going on just to kind of set the stage of the times that we're in. And then with this full moon / lunar eclipse in particular, you know, it's in Sagittarius, right? Full moon in Sag. So you want to look and you want to see if you have anything at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. I'd give it like a 5-degree orb either way, you know, maybe 10 to 20 degrees Sag. Then this full moon is going to be aspecting something in your chart pretty strongly. You can also look at Gemini energy. You know, we've got the sun and the moon both around at 15 degrees. So look in your chart and see where this is showing up for you. Look at what house Sagittarius is falling in to better understand what area of your life this is going to be affecting. But to just speak to the Sagittarius energy. Okay, so full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy. Sag is a fire sign. Sag is the nomad, the wanderer, the spiritual seeker, you know, they're on a quest, right? Excuse me. They're on a quest. It's like the half horse, half man. They're pulling the arrow, shooting off into the distance. They want to go out into the world and experience things like, yeah. They want to experience different cultures. They want to experience different religions. They want to experience different ways of living. They want to go out and figure out like what their truth is. What is the ultimate truth? What is the purpose of being here? Sagittarius asks those big existential questions like, what does it all mean? Why am I here? You know, it's connected with philosophy and just like your beliefs, your values, your like moral compass. Sagittarius, you know, every sign has a high road and a low road, right? So the low road of Sagittarius, I would say is, you know, they can get, it's like they've gone out into the world and they've figured out what their truth is, or they're on this quest for, you know, to experience new things, or, you know, higher education, taking classes, just having new experiences. And so they can get really like dogmatic and stuck in their ways. Like, this is the ultimate truth. This is what's true for me. And, you know, in order for you to, you know, evolve or to be a good person, you need to believe in my truth. And so they can get very stuck in their ways. Like, this is the one right way to be. And you know, everybody has to follow along. It can be like the religious, like bigot, or yeah, just very dogmatic, very like just thinking that their way is the only right way of doing things. And so I think at the time of this full moon / lunar eclipse, you know, we've got this Gemini energy. We're in Gemini season. Gemini is about communication. It's about gathering information, but Gemini can like spin out on so many different, so much different information, so many different options, so many different directions that they can go, that they don't like choose one thing fully and stick with it. They can get distracted easily. They can just, you know, be interested in a lot of different things and not fully like finish anything. So I think that there can be a lot of mental stimulation at the time of this full moon, like a lot of different questions, you know, we're weighing options, because I think that for all of us, we're stepping more fully into this new journey that we've been on, or that we've been feeling coming for a long time. You know, full moons, again, it's an ending, it's a completion, it's like a closing out of the energy in regards to your beliefs, your philosophy, your views on the world and what your life can look like, or what's possible for your life. Or, you know, maybe a lot of people at this time could be taking some kind of, you know, Sagittarius is associated with higher education. So maybe you're taking some kind of course, you're learning something new, you're like embracing this new path that you want to walk down, that you find gives deeper meaning to your life, right? That's what Sagittarius it's about. It's about like the search for the truth, for the deeper meaning, for the reason for being here. So each of us needing to like go inward and really get clear on what that is. Like, what does my truth look like? What, you know, how could my life be different if I go in this new direction? But I think that it's very confusing. I mean, we've got a square to Neptune. It's making a T-square here, this red triangle. And so yeah, Mars and Neptune are in Pisces, and it's squaring this this full moon. It's squaring the sun and the moon. Exactly. Mars is at 15 degrees. So let me explain that, put that in English for you. Mars and Neptune being in Pisces, squaring it. Squares are challenging aspects. It's something that we have to consciously work through. And with Mars in Pisces, And with Neptune and Pisces, with them conjunct, it just kind of amps up like the Piscean energy, which again has a high road and a low road. And since it's a square, I'm going to speak to the low road. I'll also explain the high road, but this, with it being a square, it's like it's tension, it's challenging, it's something that we have to work through. Mars and Pisces can get just like disoriented or just like, I don't know what direction to go. Pisces, you know, it can just be foggy, or it can be fuzzy, or it can be unclear, or we can be, you know, just, okay, so we're wanting to go on this new journey, we're wanting to kind of embrace a new direction, but Mars and Pisces, it doesn't really know like exactly what it's going to look like, or can I do it, or maybe there's a lot of stories wrapped around, you know, the reasons why you can do it or why you can't do it, or like, I don't know what's the first step to take. It's just very, you know, it's two fish swimming in the opposite direction, so it can be a little bit confusing. The high expression of Pisces, of Mars and Neptune being there in Pisces, making an aspect to this. I mean, we can be led from our intuition, from like a deep internal knowing of this is the direction that I must go in. Sure, I don't know what the fuck it's going to look like or how I'm going to do it, or yeah, how it's all going to turn out, but I feel intuitively like led in this direction. I think that the Gemini energy, it can be back and forth a lot. It's, you know, Gemini is the twins, right? So it's like the two faces, two personalities, the duality. It's playing devil's advocate. It's, the mental activity can be so loud that we talk ourselves out of things, or that we go back and forth and just can't make a decision. And so, yeah, there could be a lot of like confusion, or just, yeah, again, fogginess, just not super clear on what it's going to look like. But I think feeling intuitively led, you know, to go in a certain direction, and maybe we can't see the whole picture right now. You know, the release to this T-square is in Virgo. So anytime there's a T-square, it's this triangle, it's tension, it's being pulled in different directions. And then the release point is opposite the apex of the triangle, which is in Virgo. And Virgo is all about structure and organization, and just like making a list and having a plan, and like, okay, yeah, I don't know what it's all going to look like, but this is the first thing I can do. Here's the first step. This is the first thing that I can do. I just need to take some kind of action, just move forward in some kind of way, and let it work itself out from there. Another thing with the Virgo energy is that it can get stuck. It can get caught in procrastination because it's the perfectionist, and it feels like they're not ready. They're never ready. They're never good enough. Nothing's ever perfect. So they just don't even start at all. So being aware of that, and just, yeah, maybe a release for some of this tension can be to like one step at a time, to have a plan, to have structure, you know, even if you can't see that far into the future, it's just like the first step of what's next. Yeah. So again, with the full moon being in Sag, the Gemini Sagittarius axis, we've got Venus that's retrograde and it's conjunct the sun. I think we've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of reviewing. You know, Venus has been retrograde. Venus, the planet of love, of beauty, of our values. A lot of reviewing around what's important to us, around relationships, around, you know, what we place value in, where we spend our energy, how we express ourselves, how we communicate, how we relate to our thought process, how we relate to the thoughts in our minds. And Venus is going to continue to be retrograde for a period of time. Venus is off and on kind of making an aspect here. It's squaring Neptune. So again, things can be foggy or fuzzy, or like, you know, we can be maybe delusional to a certain degree, or just like not quite seeing things clearly, needing to like take a step back and to see the bigger picture, which is what Sagittarius is all about. Yeah, Sagittarius is all about the highest perspective. Like, it's, you know, represented by the centaur, the half horse, half man, but also like the hawk, the bird that can kind of fly above everything and just see the bigger picture and see the silver lining in things, and, you know, being able to stay optimistic despite all the reasons to, you know, to harden and to close down. So yeah, so okay, I've shared like the times that we're in with this Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter stuff, what we've got going on this whole year, you know, and to speak a little bit more to the Sagittarius energy and to what's going on in the world and to, you know, specifically in the States, in the United States, with the rioting and with Black people, with people of color that have been treated unfairly. I think for all of us, it's like, it's a wake-up call in regards to our own actions. And this is all connected to the Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius can be, you know, again, like the religious dogmatic person, like that, yeah, that their beliefs, their ways of doing things is the right way. They can be very stuck and very stubborn. And so for all of us to review our views on things, our values, our personal value system, our beliefs about the world, about our, you know, it's our moral compass. It's, yeah, this is all connected to the Sagittarius energy. And so we can look at our own individual lives and like how we can be a better human, how we can best support other people in the world, you know, people, Black people of all colors, shapes, and sizes. Like, how can we come together and support each other and create new value systems, new like beliefs about what it is that it means to be alive, what it is that it means to be a human, and yeah, and put these new beliefs in place, you know, as we build a new foundation for the world, for the government structures, for, you know, our own individual lives, how we can be more open-minded. You know, this is the high expression of the Sagittarius energy. It's like, sure, they can choose a certain path that makes sense to them. Like, okay, this religion, this spiritual practice, this, you know, meditation practice, whatever it looks like this is my truth. This gives me meaning. This gives me, you know, a deeper understanding for why I'm here. But I know that this isn't the only truth, that everybody can have their, you know, a different perspective, a different way of doing things. Everybody has their own, you know, personal truth. So if we can take a step back, we can see the bigger picture and we can celebrate that and appreciate that in different people. Yeah. Okay. I think that's everything that I really want to share here. I just wanted to set the stage for the, you know, bigger picture of what's going on. Again, full moons, time of endings, of completions. I think we're completing, yeah, we're completing like the big picture view on how we viewed our lives, what we felt was important to us, what, you know, how we move through the world. Yeah, our beliefs, our values, it's shifting. As the world is shifting, we're understanding how we can change our own, you know, individual lives, how we can support each other better, how we can move towards a future that is truly supportive for all of humanity, which is what the Aquarian age is all about. But before we can get there, you know, we have to tear down everything. There has to be a deconstruction. That's what Pluto's doing all year. Pluto's coming together with Saturn and Jupiter. It's a deconstructing of the foundation. Internally, we're all, you know, individually doing a lot of shadow work, and we can see it going on collectively, globally, all of the darkness being brought up to the surface so that we can look at it, we can acknowledge it, we can shine light on it, we can, you know, spread information about what's going on, and we can build something new, something completely new and different. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's all. I hope that this was helpful. I hope this supports you in some way. Just better understanding the times that we're in, the bigger picture of what's going on right now in the world with all these changes that are taking place. And yeah, with this full moon in particular, even though things might not be super clear, you know, there may be some confusion, some fogginess around like what the path is going to look like. But I think intuitively we feel this pull to go in a certain direction. And so to not get caught up in the details and in the back and forth, but to, like, you know, again, the release point in Virgo, little by little, putting just like one foot in front of another, taking the first step, creating, you know, some type of plan of action. Even if we can't see too far into the future, we can do something now. We can start now with where we're at and what we have. Oh, okay. That's all. So if you would, yeah, if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do so through my site at cosmicguidance.online. Again, I hope this supports you in better understanding the times that we're in. And that is all. Okay. Until next time. Take care, people.